Welcome back to the on the Football Zone and to a weekend previewing the Premier League games this weekend, but also reviewing the England games. And yeah, a 2-0 win over Andorra. I'm not going to read too much into that. That was pretty boring game. Always knew what was going to happen. But I think England's 5-0 win away at Serbia, that was a truly outstanding performance. And for the first time, got us really excited about what we can see under Thomas Tuchel. So many key players missing as well, but we looked solid defensively, threatening going forward. Brilliant from set plays. I just thought it was an all-round performance, and yeah, that will definitely sign warning signs to other teams in the World Cup, and it seems like it could be an exciting time to be an England fan. Moving on now to the Premier League action coming up this weekend, and we're going to start off at the Emirates where Arsenal take on Nottingham Forest. And yeah, this is an interesting game. Arsenal and Nottingham Forest will both be very much looking to bounce back from disappointing results they had just before the international break. Arsenal, of course, that lost to Liverpool, Forest losing home to West Ham. So yeah, it's a big game for both these sides, but I think Arsenal will be at home, will be the favourites. I think, they've got a really decent team now with the likes of Eze and Gyökeres, and I think they'll just have too much for Nottingham Forest. Moving on into Bournemouth and Brighton, so the last two teams got two disappointing losses. These two are coming off the back of big wins. Bournemouth, of course, getting that really impressive 1-0 win over Tottenham. Likewise for Brighton against Man City. I think both teams will come into this one full of confidence. It's two sides that I think, are just so well run in what they do, etc., that I can see them in and around the European positions this season, and yeah, it speaks volume for the job that they're doing. But I think at home Bournemouth will be tough to beat, and I'm going to say it'll be 2-1 to Bournemouth. Moving on then to Crystal Palace against Sunderland at Selhurst Park, and yeah, Sunderland, they've had a dream start to life back in the Premier League, but for me this will be the toughest game they've faced so far by quite some margin. Palace have had a really decent start to the season. That 3-0 win over Villa was super impressive, wasn't it? Considering I think they've had a really tough start on paper, so to get 5 points I think they'll be pretty pleased with. It's going to be a big game this one, but I can see Palace having too much for Sunderland here. I'm going to say it'll be 2-0. Moving on into David Moyes' Everton as they take on Aston Villa at the Hill Dickinson Stadium, and yeah, this is another really interesting game. It feels like for Everton this is a big game because 3 wins on the trot. They've been going really well since that opening day defeat at Leeds, but for Aston Villa the season just hasn't really started for them yet, has it? Just 1 point so far. I think not been the most difficult fixture list either, so I think there will be concerns there, but I think this could be a game. I've just got the feeling that a bit more time on the training piece could serve them well, and I'll get a win here. Moving on into Fulham against Leeds at Craven Cottage, and yeah, this is an intriguing game as well on paper. Fulham coming into this one off the back of that defeat to Chelsea, but I think winners so far have had a tough start though, so it'll be interesting to see if they can get that win at home. Leeds, a bit of an up and down start to the season. I think they'll be relatively pleased with it though. I've just kind of felt like maybe they could have done more in the transfer market. I just feel their squad could be a bit exposed, but I think Fulham will see this as an opportunity to get their first win. Moving on then to Newcastle against Wolves, and yeah, it would be irony if Strand Larsen could get the winner for Wolves in this one, but I think Newcastle, they've lost Isak, still looking to get their season up and running properly really, aren't they? But yeah, I think they have brought in a few decent replacements. I'm looking forward to seeing how Waltmade and Visa get on. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, and I think this will be an ideal opportunity against the poor Wolves team in my opinion to get their first win of the year. I'm going to say 2-0 to Newcastle. Moving on into West Ham against Tottenham at the London Stadium, and yeah, this is an interesting one because before the last round of games I said Tottenham looking really decent, West Ham really struggling a bit at the moment, aren't they? But it seems to have kind of turned around recently, so yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, this one, how it all shapes up. But I'm going to say that it will be Tottenham, away from home. I think they still do have a better squad, more quality than West Ham, so I'm going to say they'll get the win. Moving on into Brentford against Chelsea, and yeah, this is an interesting one. Brentford, I think, will be slightly disappointed with the start of the season they've had, but they did shock Aston Villa in a result I didn't see coming, so they could easily do the same here. Keith Andrews probably still settling into the job. Obviously, it's first time in kind of a position like this, but Chelsea coming into this one, obviously off the back of a decent start, I would say. So I think, this is a game they'll be expecting to win. I do think they will have too much for Brentford here. Moving on into Burnley against Liverpool, and I think this is another result which Liverpool will be pretty optimistic of getting. So yeah, I think coming into this one, Liverpool, we've seen the start they've had. Even not at their best, they've still beaten the likes of Newcastle and Arsenal. Burnley, I think so far have pretty well struggled in the Premier League. Can't even beat Manchester United. I mean, that says a lot. But yeah, it's going to be an intriguing one, this one. But I think Liverpool will have enough to get the win here. I'm going to say it'll be 3-0 to the Pool. Moving on into Manchester City against Manchester United at the Etihad. It's going to be an interesting one, this one. Manchester City have had a tough start, haven't they, so far, but Manchester United as well. It's not exactly been the ideal start for them. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, but I feel Manchester City will probably get the win at this. I think they've got too much for them. I think Pep will hopefully get the players back into their control after a tough start, and I think they'll have too much for United. So I'm going to say 2-0.
Guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily football news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.